Most fighters are doing the right thing, but in completely the wrong order. Today I'm sharing how to schedule your weekly training for maximum results, whether you train for just 3 hours or 36 hours per week. After 25 years of coaching fighters and competing myself into my 40s, I've learned that timing is everything when it comes to fight training. There are 3 critical session types that every fighter needs, and I'll show you exactly how many of each type you need based on your level. Plus, I'll reveal the common scheduling mistake that's actually cancelling out your gains. And want to know where your current training stands? Take my free Muay Thai performance scorecard in the link below. But first, let's look at what I call the 80-20 rule of fight training. Fighters, welcome back to another episode of Heatrick Muay Thai Performance. These days, fighter training has become more sophisticated. Coaches, fighters and hobbyists alike all realise that to remain healthy, injury-free and perform their best, it takes more than just steady runs, bag work, pad work and sparring. But what types of session are needed? How often should you train? What order should those sessions go? Organising your training week, whatever your level of commitment to Muay Thai, can be daunting. However, it doesn't have to be. Let's run through the steps I use with clients to create your most effective weekly training plan. We'll cover what the different session types are and how to prioritise them, outline how many of each session types you need each week, and apply sports science best practice to determine what goes where and why. We'll look at time blocking each session and finally follow 7 steps to create your own weekly training schedule. So let's get started. Regardless if you're a full-time pro or a part-time hobbyist, you must make the most efficient use of your training time available each week. And that means hitting key priorities and filtering priorities layer by layer. Not all of your training yields the greatest results. It's important that you 80-20 your work. That is, focus on the 20% of your training that gets 80% of your results, not the other way round. My planning process is built on this fact and scales effectively, regardless if you train 3 hours a week or 36. As fighters, we have multiple performance quality buckets that need filling to different levels, and our various training sessions pour into particular buckets at different rates. Some sessions, like Muay Thai pad work, can serve multiple purposes, including technical and tactical Muay Thai skills training, cardio conditioning, local muscular endurance, mobility and coordination, and much more. It pours into several buckets, but not all. Other sessions, like resistance training, can target very specific purposes, such as strength, power, and speed. It fills only a few buckets, but it hits the ones missed by Muay Thai training. Although there's an overlap in the performance qualities both developed and used by different types of training, those buckets need balancing in order to remain healthy, injury-free, and perform your best. First and foremost, we're fighters. Muay Thai technical and tactical skill training comes first, and everything else is supplemental training. However, it's important that the supplemental training plugs the gaps left by Muay Thai training alone. If you can develop the performance quality adequately from practicing Muay Thai, then that's what you should do. But neglecting the qualities serving as your athletic foundation prevents you from reaching your potential and reduces your longevity in Muay Thai, competitively or recreationally. The 3 session types we must schedule each week are Muay Thai, resistance training, and cardio conditioning. And because of the overlapping qualities developed, the hierarchy for fighters is 1. Muay Thai, 2. Resistance training, and 3. Cardio conditioning. This provides the biggest bang for your buck. Muay Thai training targets technical and tactical Muay Thai skill and sport-specific fitness. Resistance training targets neuromuscular performance, strength, power, speed, and aerobic power. Cardio conditioning training targets foundation energy systems fitness, aerobic capacity, aerobic power, and aerobic capacity. The number of each session type needed each week depends on your competitive level or time available for training. We'll begin by outlining the 3 circumstances or schedule models that I use. The minimal model is for enthusiasts or fighters with minimal time looking to still maintain consistent progress. The competitive model is for fighters or those that want to train like fighters looking for optimal long-term progress and longevity. And the extreme model is for fighters looking to progress while training in Thailand. Progress is the common denominator. Applied well, all 3 models result in systematic progress in both technical Muay Thai skill and athletic performance, all performance buckets sustainably get the attention they need. But these three models also represent either doing less than optimal, an ideal time investment, or more than is optimal. Training any performance quality only once a week quickly becomes maintenance. To progress, twice a week is minimal. Training a quality 3 times a week means quicker progress. Doing more than this can mean even quicker progress if you recover adequately for your body to improve. I've spoken in detail about hitting this sweet spot in a previous episode that I'll link for you in the caption. With a greater understanding of weekly training frequency, we'll begin summarizing the minimal model, the least amount of training you can do and still progress in the most balanced way. There are 2 Muay Thai sessions, 2 resistance training sessions, and 1 cardio conditioning session, because the Muay Thai sessions contribute enough cardio training to ensure weekly progress. All of these sessions combine to target specific qualities that make up a skillful, powerful, and robust Muay Thai fighter. As an extra, I've both a Strength and Conditioning for Muay Thai 101 guide and a 3-part Science of Building Champions video series that dive into effective resistance training and cardio conditioning training for fighters, which I'll link for you in the caption. The competitive model hits the sweet spot, balancing both optimal short-term and long-term progress while avoiding burnout. There are 5 weekly Muay Thai sessions, 2 resistance training sessions, and 3 cardio sessions. And this is the model I recommend my clients aim for when possible. The extreme model is for those training in Thailand and with no other responsibilities outside of training and competing. For example, no family or work commitments, and the opportunity to nap during the day between training sessions. There are between 6 to 12 weekly Muay Thai sessions, 2 resistance training sessions, and 3 cardio sessions. You'll notice the only difference between the competitive model and the extreme model is the amount of Muay Thai training each week. While in Thailand, the focus should be on technical and tactical practice, amassing quality skilled repetition. Although, due to the high training volume, your sport-specific fitness will improve too, it should be seen as a byproduct of the opportunity to build your skill. The foundation athletic performance side of the equation is more optimally addressed in targeted resistance training and cardio sessions. It's not just the number of sessions that matter. The quality of those sessions critically affects your rate of progress. Doing more isn't better. Doing better is. I highlight how to fast-track your ability through systematic, deliberate practice in the Breaking Limits in Muay Thai episode that I'll also link for you in the caption. The 3 schedule models, minimal, competitive, and extreme, all drive progress at different rates. And in reality, you're likely to land somewhere between any 2 of them. I've spent some time justifying the session types needed and how many each week create the best progress given your situation and time available. Though many fighters and coaches are doing the right things, they organize their training weeks too haphazardly to get the full training effect, or inadvertently cancel out performance gains entirely. At best, this wastes effort. At worst, it burns out fighters and injures them. But you can apply simple steps to design weekly schedules that ensure training is efficient and effective, maximizing results while consuming less time and energy, reducing overuse injuries, and increasing the amount of time for Muay Thai skill practice, or family and friends if you'd prefer. I'll share these steps with you now, and I'll show you how to use them. In part 1, we covered what the different session types are, how to prioritize them, and how many of each session type you need each week, depending on your competitive level or training time available. Building on that foundation, we'll use my checklist of 8 sports science best practices to determine which sessions go where and why. We'll look at time blocking each session, and finally, follow 7 steps to create your own weekly training schedule. Applying sports science principles to your training drastically improves your results. Research continues to explore how the human body responds to different exercise protocols and different combinations of them. This evolution reveals not only which methods are the most effective and which ones aren't, given your goals, but also which ones don't play nice together and cancel out. As fighters, we easily fall into the trap of just working harder and for longer in order to become better. However, we can be more deliberate and smarter than that. Here's my checklist of 8 sports science best practices to get the most out of your weekly schedule. Number 1, leave at least 48 hours between consecutive resistance training sessions. And I'm talking about whole body resistance training for fighters here, as it's the most efficient use of time. And this requires adequate recovery before hitting the same neuromuscular movement patterns again. Remember, we're looking to specifically target those strength, power, and speed buckets. If we don't allow enough neuromuscular recovery between sessions, then we're training endurance again and we're missing a trick, leaving athletic performance on the table. Number 2, when training multiple sessions in one day, if possible, train cardio or Muay Thai sessions at least 3 hours away from resistance training to avoid blunting the strength, power or speed training effect. I recommend training one session in the morning and another in the afternoon or evening. That way you squeeze the most out of both sessions. Also, for fighters training more than once a day, if possible, I recommend resistance training in the morning because athletic performance peaks at different times during the daily cycle depending on when you train. Training strength and power in the evening leads to a peak in those performance qualities at that specific time of day, but a drop-off at any other time of day. Whereas, although training strength and power in the morning may be harder because your central nervous system hasn't woken up yet, it leads to a strong performance ability at any time of day. As Muay Thai fighters, although strength and power are foundation qualities that boost our Muay Thai performance, they aren't required at 100% levels. We're not powerlifters or Olympic lifters. We're skilled power endurance athletes that must apply 80% of our maximum power relentlessly for 5 rounds, or until we've stopped our opponent. Not to mention, we could be fighting in the afternoon or at midnight. Let's face it, any time of day if you're competing abroad in a different time zone. Number 3, if resistance training and either Muay Thai or cardio training must be trained back to back, train the most important session first. For example, if learning a new Muay Thai skill in a non-fatigue state is your priority, resistance training goes last. However, if long-term strength, power and speed is your priority and the Muay Thai session's objective is technique training under fatigue, tough, then resistance training goes first. I've spoken about technical skill practice in a previous episode that I'll link in the show notes for you. Number 4, generally don't do more than 2 challenging sessions back to back. You're spreading your effort too thin and won't work hard enough in any session to overload the body enough to make it adapt and become fitter, and you'll sabotage recovery. The training session is only the trigger stimulus required to make you fitter and stronger. It's during the recovery period after the training stimulus that your body adapts to better cope with that stress in the future. If you're all stimulus and no adaptation, you won't improve. Number 5, every training session should target a specific purpose and provide just enough stimulus to make your body adapt and then get out, allowing enough recovery for strength and fitness gains before hitting you with a stimulus again. Apply a minimal training dose, be progressive, and don't jump steps or you'll cut your ultimate progress short or develop overuse injuries. Number 6, cardio sessions should develop different energy systems qualities at different stages of a training phase. Further from a fight, training should prioritize aerobic capacity development using longer duration, lower intensity work, and transition to aerobic power work using higher intensity, shorter duration intervals. I have an optimal fight camp blueprint download that goes into this for you, and I'll link to that in the show notes. It's also important to mention that anaerobic lactic system training shouldn't predominantly feature until closer to the fight, or you'll destroy your aerobic power fitness and train yourself to blast hard and gas out if you don't finish your opponent in one round. So save those Tabata intervals until you're at least 4 weeks out. Number 7, take 1 or 2 days rest per week. Yes, 2 days rest can actually make you better. Remember that rest is as important as the training. You only get better if you recover from the training dose you've applied. Don't become all stimulus and no adaptation. And finally, number 8, long-term athletic progress far exceeds the capability of unsustainable short-term boom and bust cycles. Let your opponents burn themselves out and go round in circles. You should aim beyond your next fight to become a completely different fighter this time next year. Now let's look at the typical amount of time you should budget for the different training sessions. And again, here we're looking for the most efficient use of time. No filler or killer. Typically, resistance training sessions would be about 60 minutes long if you're using complete body sessions concurrently training speed, power and strength that I recommend for fighters. Cardio conditioning sessions would typically be up to about 30 minutes long and Muay Thai sessions up to 60 minutes long. Sessions can of course be longer or shorter than these, but these are the typical session durations for the best training effect. Remember, generally going longer means you're doing more than you need to, exceeding minimal dose, practicing fatigued form, and spoiling your recovery so your next training session becomes less effective. And if you're obsessed about adopting the Thailand training model with 2 to 3 hour training sessions, please see them for what they are: multiple sessions joined together with recovery periods in between. Cardio conditioning plus Muay Thai plus muscular endurance bodyweight conditioning. For simplicity, when structuring your week, block out 30 or 60-minute time slots for each session type in your weekly schedule. This stops you blurring things together, and you can more easily organize the time blocks according to the best practices checklist to ensure they're optimally effective too. And when I say optimal, I mean the best with what you've got. I discussed the difference between optimal and peak performance training in another episode that I'll link for you in the show notes. Combined with the Part 1 episode, we now have the foundation understanding and tools in place. We know how many sessions of each type we're looking to fit into each week and how long they're likely to be. Now let's look at where they can practically go. Generally, fighters have greater flexibility regarding placement of weekly resistance and cardio conditioning sessions, whereas Muay Thai sessions are largely timetabled group sessions or dependent on meeting up with others too. Using a weekly training schedule template that lists days of the week and splits training into either morning or afternoon evening periods each day, here are 7 steps to help you build out your training week. 1. Begin by listing any sessions that have to be at certain days and times. And these are usually timetabled classes or private one-to-one coaching sessions. 2. Now, where can you practically place your resistance training sessions to best effect? Remember to use the best practices checklist. 3. Where can you place any remaining Muay Thai sessions? These are usually your solo practice sessions. 4. Where can you place any remaining cardio conditioning sessions? 5. Which days are you taking as rest days? 6. Check that you've considered the scheduling training best practices. 7 is a bonus step. If you don't have enough time to fit everything in that you want, can you get up earlier to fit in training before work or studies? Or at the very least, remember that as long as you're hitting the minimum training model, you are consistently progressing. Short-term boom and bust training, typically between one fight and the next, sees your performance going around in circles. Whereas consistent long-term progress massively outperforms boom and bust training. Long-term awesome is your goal, not short-term show-off. This is now your best guess at an optimal schedule, the best you can do with what you've got. But you'll need to try it out and see if your assumptions were practical. If your weekly progress is continually improving, that is, you're able to hit your high week training targets every 4-week training block and beginning the next 4-week training block feeling good to go after your deload week, then you've got it about right. If not, you'll need to take a closer look and run through the planning process again, considering what you've learned in reality. And once you've found what works, you've discovered what is optimal for you right now. But life happens. Don't be too rigid. If it's not possible to place your sessions exactly where you want them one week, try to complete as many of your target number of sessions as you can. Doing something is far better than nothing. If you can't fit all the sessions in one particular week, prioritize the most important sessions for your training block and get those done, dropping the others. Then try and return to the full schedule as soon as practical. I hope this look at developing an effective weekly training plan has proven helpful. And if you want to download a copy of the weekly training schedule template, you'll find that along with lots of other resources on the show notes page that I'll link for you in the caption.
Thanks for listening. If you found this valuable, please like, subscribe, and share with someone else it could help too. Please give the podcast a review or comment below. We'd love to hear from you. As always, you can visit heatrick.com for more Muay Thai performance podcasts, videos, articles, and guides. Catch you next time.